Hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's see. Basically, I'm doing a little maintenance. Changing things up a little bit for the purposes of the show. You know, the idea of the show is to basically show you mods and give you a chance to see them and decide if you're interested in them, if you like them. So part of what I want to do is remove some of the things that I have in my game that might adversely influence that. So I'm trying to do some different things to sort of tone down. I've really taken a lot out of my shows that are built around my preference and what I like, but I thought I would tone a few things down just a little bit more, and thus if my game was a little more generic looking, then when we show a mod you would be better able to see what that mod is doing and make a determination based on what you're seeing about what you know, what your opinion is of a certain mod, whether or not you want to try it, that kind of thing. Did I disable that? There we go. That's what we need. So I'm going to, it's nothing major, but there's a few minor changes I'm making. She thinks she has those sticks, doesn't she? That's funny. Mainly, I am removing the saturation from display enhancements because sometimes that influences the way certain pieces look. And then I am also turning the bloom back on because that can influence the way a few things. It doesn't make major differences, but it might make some difference. And I'm going to put my girl's weight. I'm not going to go like really thin, but I'm not going to go really big or heavy anymore either. I'm going to go middle of the road, which gives you more of a middle of the road appearance, which might help give you a more reasonable idea of what something is going to look like. That's the idea. Is this going to be perfect and solve everything? Probably not. But instead of being one extreme or the other, I just thought it might be better. Oh, I hit the wrong thing, really. If I went through and sort of made things a little more vanilla for the purposes of showing the mods that we want to show, so that they're not affected so much. And I admit this is small effects. You know, turning the bloom on and off is not really, it's not really a huge deal. I just, you know, but it does have some impact. And then taking the saturation out, that has some impact too. I've seen both in Skyrim and Fallout that can make a difference in the way things appear. So that could adversely affect your opinion of something in such a way that I wouldn't mean to. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to enable the bloom that I had turned off on all these. I'm going to make sure adaptation is turned back on. And I'm going to remove any display enhancement effects so that whatever you see in the game, in my videos, will be as true to unaltered and undoctored as possible. Now there's some things pardon me, there's some things I'm going to maintain. And the reason I'm maintaining those is that, well, I'll show you in a minute. We'll go through that. Alright, so let's leave her on there. So I was going through each of my person's games so that I can fix them up and sort of have them prepared already. It makes it a little easier on me. So let's go. There are some mods that I'm not gonna change or eliminate or anything. However, it's because they won't really have an adverse effect on what I'm doing. Some of these I could keep or let these go either way. I'd keep those turned on really just for the sake of our shows, that they won't be in the way. I have a couple of characters that are high level enough that they're beyond these parts, so it doesn't really affect their game. This is just a simple, bringing back the old Skyrim weather, so this doesn't really hurt anything. It doesn't really change much of anything. I don't think this makes any significant difference. I keep that just for entertainment purposes. And again, it doesn't make any difference. If I do something else in the sky, I can turn that off. I'm not going to be using this as much in the shows, so I've basically decided to turn that off. I've turned this off, and I'm not going to use this in the shows. I'm really going to remove that from my show load order once I get done with Vera. I'm going to keep these because these are useful to me. This is not as much of a show thing, but it's a convenience thing for me. Let's see. These are useful to me and can be useful in the shows. And they can be turned off. They can be removed basically when I don't need them. Since those are mainly crafting things. And these two, I could remove these two. I guess they don't serve a big purpose. But sometimes if we want to look at some enchants and do some different things, it's easier to do that without. It's easier to do that with these mods. Sometimes these mods facilitate us being able to do things. That's why I have a lot of these. Now when you get down here, I have this just as a preference, and anytime I do a show on another replacer, I just turn this off and I turn that armor replacer on. I don't think of that as anything bad. I have a few armor mods I keep around because I like them, and I have my characters in the shows use them. I don't think that hurts anything. So I don't see a reason to really get rid of those. They're just something kind of fun. These are things we're going to look at in upcoming shows. These are a couple of more convenience things, so that we can make things if we needed to. Let's see. This is by now, hopefully you've seen the show on this mod. And this is an interesting replacer mod, and it's really just kind of a placeholder for us right now. Anytime I get another NPC replacer, I would replace it or turn this off, but it's nice for the shows to have nicer looking people. That's a convenience mod as well. I don't need it as much for the shows, but it's still convenience. I keep these followers just because these are like my favorite followers. We don't really need them for the shows, and I may end up, well, I don't know. It's just 3 little followers. I'm undecided. I may end up removing them because I know they do add you know, a few other things in a few other places sometimes, and they add little quest markers, but I don't think they really hurt anything, honestly. I don't think they have an adverse effect on anything. Pardon me. I'm very sorry. I should have... Anyway, so I don't think these followers really have an adverse effect on anything. Sometimes they add a little bit, like they add a hairstyle or maybe a eyebrow or something to the character creator. So I may, you know, and I know that we get Tori's axe in the forge. You know, I could remove these things, but they're small, they don't hurt anything. I may go ahead and take these two out. Not that I don't like them, but that they do add things to other places, so that could be confusing. Rudolph, I guess I could let Rudolph go. I was just holding on to him for the purposes of flying around, and that makes certain things easier. So I may hold on to him for a while longer. These things, I just use these for, you know, the sake of our girls, the hostesses, and the guys. Just want them to, you know, look decent. I don't think any of this has an adverse effect on anything else, really. And when I do other character creator things, I usually turn everything off and do a new character so that we can get a look at them. So I'm probably not going to get rid of these. And then these are some things that we're going to look at. I'll probably maintain this body or possibly that body. It just depends. I'm going to look at it. Just because lately that's been the body I like the best. This body would also be an option, but we have to look at these things first, and that'll be in a show coming up. I'll probably maintain this small eye mod because it's small and it doesn't really affect anything. These textures, I'll probably keep these. Once again, I just remove them when we're looking at another texture. Let's see, what else here? I don't think these things have any adverse reaction. This allows us to see if things have that animation, and that's just a patch. And then R246, the way R246 is now, you really need to use it on a new game. So I only use it right now for Vera because I created her new with this. Now, you can get around, and I'm going to do another show on R246. You can get around the issue if you want to bring R246 into your game. But to do that, you're really going to need something like Cheat Room that allows you to go in and remake your character. Because if you bring this mod into the middle of a playthrough, it's going to wreck your character. It is, and I'll show you that. It's some humorous stuff. But if you use it from the beginning of a new game, you won't have any issues at all. Not that I've seen. So, and then let's see. Anything here major? This idol, I'm going to keep this idol just because I know it overlays the idol from here. Otherwise, everybody will be spinning all the time. So I'm going to keep that idle. This is something I do out of convenience for myself. It's not really necessary, but I keep it around. So there's not any big changes, but I just wanted to go through, and I'm going to change the weight on all my girls to not be, I usually stay over on the far heavy side. I'm going to go middle of the road, and the reason is just to give everything a chance so that you can see, and I'll probably try to show the weight slider on things, which is what I've been doing, so that you can see the difference, because we all like different things, and I understand that, and that's okay. Of course, what I like, we know I lean to the right hand side of that, but some people don't like that, so that's why I'm kind of changing my girls to be more middle of the road. It'll give us all a chance to see how things look in more of a, if you take more of an average stance, and then of course we'll also try to show the weight slider on things so that you get an idea. Nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be exactly what, say, you want all the time, and nothing's going to be the way I want all the time. That's alright. We'll just go ahead and do that so that you get a better idea of what you're looking at, and it won't have an adverse effect on how you view the mods. So that's my idea. My idea is to try to just show you what the mod looks like in its purest state without anything else affecting it. I guess that's the way I'm trying to say it. So that's what I'm trying to do by eliminating some of those things. And I could eliminate these, since from these shows it wouldn't really hurt anything if I did. There's a number of things I could eliminate probably that wouldn't hurt anything. So you might see a little slight difference in my load order for the shows coming up. It's not really a big deal, but just letting you know. So, oh wait, I did not turn on. I need to turn on concept and go change Vera's game. So that's the idea. This is kind of a behind the scenes type of thing. I need to go. Also, someone had mentioned that I should do, oh, wrong thing. I should do kind of a, I don't remember their exact wording, but kind of a, top 10 mods of 2019 or something like that. So I'm going to have to go back and look through my videos and see what mods I looked at, because I'm going to have a couple of rules about it. One, it has to come from a review in 2019, but the mod also needs to be something that was either ported to the Xbox or new to the Xbox somehow in 2019. It can't just be a mod that's been around 3 or 4 years and it just got an update or something like that. So I'm going to try to do that. It's going to take a few days to go through everything and try to do that. That's going to take some time. So just letting you know that I will be looking at that, and maybe I'll try to do a couple of categories and do a couple of little videos. Nothing too time consuming, but try to show you some of the things that and maybe I can look at my videos and go by what had the views, what was the most popular things. But then most of the popular things may not always be the best things, because sometimes a video was popular for other reasons other than the fact that the mod was great. So I probably won't go by that, I guess. I'll probably just look at things that I thought were cool mods, and then I may have another video that kind of looks at some silly mods that we looked at, because there were some silly ones. I won't mention any right now, but just something like that. So, alright, so I got this turned on. Let's go fix up Vera. And let's see, is there anything else? I don't think so. I just wanted to mention that. Let's see. So our, like I said, our purpose is to try to show you the mod and give you a chance to decide if you're interested in it. Of course, you've probably noticed by now my schedule is somewhat different, and the way I'm doing getting the videos uploaded and all is different, and sometimes it is I don't always get out as many videos every day, and sometimes sometimes I just don't. I guess I don't have quite as much content as I've had in the past. I'm still trying to keep up a good decent amount of content, but nonetheless, this is just the way it is right now. This too will pass, and I will be in, I will get into a better situation as time goes on. But right now, that's just the way it is. After the holidays and some time off, that's just the way it is. So you'll notice on Vera, I changed her weight to be middle of the road, but see, some things I'm not going to be able to change, I'll tell you. Even though I make her weight middle of the road, for some mods, even a low weight is still going to be bigger than some people want in certain areas. There's nothing I can really do about that. So just understand that some of the mods we look at, like if it's this OPPAI, obviously the body's going to have a certain shape. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. I understand that. There's nothing really I can do about that. And in this case, for Vera, this body, it naturally has larger endowment up top. And there's really not anything I can do about that. That's just the way it is. So just understand that some things are going to be that way, and I do try to look at all things. I try to look at if something comes out and it's CBBE or if it's UNP or whatever. I try to look at all things as much as I can. We have been getting more CBBE stuff lately, so I imagine that's going to continue. So hopefully that will be good for those of you who really want to use that and like that. We're going to make sure this is enabled. There we go. But I try to cover everything and not just cover one thing. I think when I started, I'm sure when I started, I always leaned more towards things that I was expressly interested in. But more and more now, I try to just pick out whatever's new and looks like it would be of interest to somebody, anybody, even not me. It doesn't have to be of interest necessarily to me. So let's see, I think I went through and I changed all our games to be like I was discussing. I went through and I turned on everybody's bloom, and I made sure everybody's eye adaptation was turned on. I'm going to probably drop a couple of mods from this load order. And remember, this is just to make sure that I'm showing the mods with as little interference as possible, so that we're really looking at the mods as best we can. Some things I really need, and some mods really require things, but some things aren't necessary. So I'm going to leave this out of the show from now on. That's why I went through and did that. This is not necessary for the show. I keep it for convenience sake. When I do, like if I ever do another follower mod or something, I would probably remove it. Maybe I should just remove it. We'll just remove it. No, I'm not going to remove it because I think I'm using it for a couple of people, so I'm not going to remove it. It might cause trouble. I can remove it at another time. So most of these now are really just convenience mods. Even these mods here, I don't have to have these. I like to have these, especially from a playing standpoint, but for the purposes of our shows, I don't really need these. I don't need all of these. I may change it up. I may change up some armors and do some different armors, but for right now I still like these armors, so we'll see how that goes. What else? I think that's pretty much it. I think we went over everything. I'm going to keep Rudolph around in case we need to be able to fly up high or look at something from a different perspective. Sometimes that could be handy. So, and also, before I go, I just want to mention that we really do have over 700 subscribers, so thank you all very much for that. That's wonderful. The other day when I did my other video, we were closing in on that, but we hadn't reached it. So that's wonderful. Really appreciate that. And that's really it. I think that's all I had to say on that. Now I am going to stop here and I'm going to go do some shows on some of these mods. And you know, as always, if you have a request, if you would like to see something in particular, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just trying to do some of the newer things that are coming out, and it just depends on what's new. Like this week, let's see what came out. Like, this was some newer stuff in the past week or so that I thought people might find interesting. It's various different things. You'll notice that a lot of it pertains to what people are interested in, which is females. So there you go. I mean, but if you have a request or have other things that you would like to see, just let me know. If there's something I missed. I'm not looking as much down in the work in progress because I have been finding that they really are work in progress, and it's kind of hard sometimes to do a show on some of those because they're not quite working right. That's not true of everything, of course. I have done some of these. We have another Theron version. This is a bigger, wow, this is huge. I don't know why you would want another Theron, and especially one this big. My goodness. But nonetheless, it's a matter of what you like. It's not a matter of what I like. Which is another reason I'm trying to keep my load order differently. So let's see. I don't know what all this is, and some of these things are testing, and I don't want to mess things up by coming in and looking at somebody's mod before they've even had a chance to really finish it, which is another thing. If you have something in work in progress and it actually works and you consider it complete, I would really appreciate it if you would take it out of work in progress. I mean, there are some mods still down here in work in progress that are really, see, now like here's an exception. I thought I would check this out, and I'll just let you know up front, it's work in progress. I'm just going to check it out and see. But you know, there's a number of these I have no idea, and if someone doesn't tell me, see, this is a pretty big mod to download if it's work in progress and they're still working on it. I don't want to, you know, I was going to mess with this at one point, but this had some issues and it's work in progress, so I left it alone, decided not to do it. I don't want to give anybody a bad impression of something when it's still being worked on. That's not fair. So this is a work in progress mod, but as far as I can tell, she's complete. She's fine. I use that mod. So but maybe he's still testing something. I don't know. That modder could be testing something. So there are a number of mods down here that look complete. I don't know if they are. I don't even know what this is. Yeah, so I don't know, because I don't know what it is, and then, you know, so I'm not doing a lot of work in progress mods right now, just letting you know. I'm still looking at the new mods and trying to do some of those. I don't always grab everything. I do have this in my list to do. Like this, remove racial powers. That's something, if you wanted that, you could download that and try it. That seems so specific that I did not bother with that. The Naruto race, I just didn't know how many people would really have an interest in this, so I didn't really look into it. Some of these things, if you don't tell me, I just probably won't look at, like Ragavir doesn't get executed. That's a funny idea, and I've thought about playing around with stuff like that, but I didn't decide to do like a show on it. So, you know, if you're interested in those types of things, let me know. I think these are in my list to do. let's see. I was interested in this. I think that too is in my list. But you'll notice I said I was interested. I saw it and I thought, well, that might be something that people would be interested in. It's not very big, but it has some little quests and stuff, and it might be fun. So all right. So enough of my rambling and all that. I was just trying to explain a few things to you. Again, just it's all in the interest of trying to make the shows better. So better for all of us. And if there is anything you would like for me to take a look at, just let me know. One day I actually intend to take a look at Inigo, and I think Lucian is another big follower, and one day we will get there, okay? Alright. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I will catch you later.